this move and to just take it on my word, on my faith, on your faith, that it's going to be different. And what difference does it really make if you're going to be with God? So, Jesus says, okay, now you're getting closer. You see, because eternal life, and the reigning of the kingdom of heaven, the beloved community, is not some future reality. It isn't. Then why are we doing this? Well, the kingdom of heaven, the beloved community, is now, Jesus says. And you know where it is? It's not someplace ethereal. Where? Where? Even more so. Keep coming. Inside you. It's inside you. So now, just think that you are all, for those of you who believe this, you are all receptacles of the beloved community. You are all carrying it within you. So in order to get into the beloved community, you have to get inside yourself and find that portion of God that is in you and live that. So what happens when the body ceases to function? We don't know. Maybe God works in, now God fills us and lives with us in a new way. But for those people who are waiting for some future reality to get it right, I'll do that in the next life, some people say. No, it's now, and it's within you. There's a great responsibility to believe or faith, because if you are a believer, if you do have this faith, if you buy into the privilege, the membership privilege of having eternal life, then that comes with it comes a responsibility, therefore, to flesh out God in you and in your neighbor in order to have an eternal life experience.
And if we look at life and our bodies as things for the soul to emerge from, at the time that we leave this life, the soul is released to go back with the power of love that you created to the power, the body, the God, which is love.
It's a good image.
I like it.
And the problem is that if that's true, and I think a lot of what you said is a really wonderful description, then we have to pay more attention to how we love one another. And pay more attention to how it is that we treat one another. Because that every time we treat one another with the type of love that you're talking about, this ethereal love, if you will, then God's kingdom, God's love breaks through a little bit more. And the hope is that someday we would all be such a loving world that we just explode. Implode, maybe. That's part of what was being taught here. The really difficult thing for the early church, and I think the church now, is the whole idea that the beloved community, the kingdom of heaven, is both now and also within us. And so you wonder how it is that there can be such vessels of hate out there when the whole purpose is that we become vessels of love. So I think eternal life, if you will, is the ceaseless working it out until we become vessels of love. And when we do, and when we're willing, as it says in the Gospel, people have some things they weren't ready to give up yet. When we're actually ready to give up on those, and some of those things that they're not willing to give up are things like hate and revenge and all the other things, jealousy, and all the other things that come with that. When we actually give this up, we get glimpses of the kingdom, the beloved community that we never had before. We know, all of a sudden, it's very different. Something happens in the week or whatever in our lives, it's very different. So we get glimpses of what a better world, not something in the future, but now can be.
You are walking on a very interesting fence. I've been waiting for you to step over to one side.
Oh.
The background of theology is very solid. You understand, never be too explicit, because it's a good way to have the head chopped off. I understand that. And you're going towards a one world view as opposed to a two world view. I mean, when you use words like souls and things like that, you're essentially buying into Greek philosophy that was prevalent at the time of the first century. You had Jewish exponents of it, like Philo, for example, who was a contemporary of Jesus. Those things, they're not something Jesus ever talked about. Never talked about souls. I don't see anything, I don't agree that the word eternal life was ever on his lips in anything that he ever said. I don't think those things were back to the but you stand between the two. You will not step over on one side or the other and say, I believe in one world, or I believe in two worlds. And an interesting viewpoint, I think people should recognize that there are two. One of which is one world, the one that Jesus talked about. The kingdom of God is already within you. The kingdom of God is in your midst.
Well, in typical, Jason, I know that you'll probably appreciate this. Do you know the old Midrash saying that says that where you have two Jews, you have three opinions?
Yes.
Yes. So I would say that actually I'm on the fence because I'm in the third opinion. There's two ways of looking at it. Maybe two ways of looking at it. I think there's a third way, which is to say, and I've said this before, I just don't know, and none of us do. So whatever reality there is, I'm not sure what it is. And so can we live, is it possible to live therefore in the unknowledge, in not knowing? Can we live with the fact that we just don't know? I think once we are able to get to that point, then we have given up an awful lot. And it frees us. Yeah.
And isn't that faith then? Not knowing and continuing to, in a certain way, enact
I think,
faith?
Elizabeth, if you got up at the library and you said, today I'm going to give a lecture on faith as not knowing, they would say, it's time you left town. I don't disagree with you. I think we put on the board out there on North Avenue, faith is not knowing. People would drive their cars into the sign. Because that is a very disturbing concept. Because we've been taught our whole life that faith is knowing. Faith is being sure. Faith is taking that leap so that we can have something concrete that's not offered right now. But I think faith is not knowing. I think faith is letting go enough to be comfortable with not knowing. That's kind of for a philosophical viewpoint on straddling the fence. Right. And I think that if we can get to that point, then we are able to let go of so much that we don't need on either side of that fence. Because it's a balance act. Having faith is a real balance. And when it gets challenged, there's a old saying again, if we were on trial for being a Christian, would there be enough evidence to convict us? How we act and the way we act and why we act the way we do is not always clear that what we're doing is God's will or God's kingdom or God's love, whatever it is that people put into that whole thing called faith. And I try to be very careful to not tell people they must have faith. It's not something you pick up like candy at the grocery store. And so I don't think you'll ever hear me say that. It's important that we must have faith. Because I don't know that that's something that we can just get if we want it. Faith, my understanding of it, is a gift of God. It is a gift of the world. It's a gift of the universe to us. And when we get to that point where we can actually say, I have faith, I hope that what it means is that we are comfortable being on the fence and not knowing and helping other people get to the point where they can let go of so much that they can actually begin to love. Because that is the